Now to the wild card race in the good old Western Conference. Or should I say that just I hate watching you guys play hockey because it's so sad. All right, 3 points separate the Jets and the Nashville Predators, and between them, it's Calgary. Winnipeg, Calgary, 76 games each. The Flames are back by 2 points. Nashville, a game behind those guys, as I mentioned, 3 points back in Winnipeg. I said that point back of the Calgary Flames. We know there's a Flames Winnipeg Jets very soon. Well, I shouldn't say soon. The season's done soon. But that's coming up in a few days. That will be one of the biggest games of the year. Oh man, I don't even know who to say. I just don't care. I just don't. None of you deserve this. None of you
I don't
I
know.
want to see even this
No,
is
you know what? I disagree. I think there's one team that I don't want to
Nashville.
say
Okay,
I don't
maybe
want to say
they've earned
deserve
it.
it. I don't listen. I don't want to say deserves it, but I do think it'd be a story. It'd be a cool story if Nashville sold at the deadline. Like they haven't really like officially said they're rebuilding, right? They kind of just sold off pieces. They're gonna let Barry Trotz do his thing in the summer, but it would be a great story for them to make the playoffs. We know. Here's the thing: they're gonna play Vegas in the first round, right? Vegas or Minnesota if Minnesota can catch up to Vegas. Vegas has 101 points. Minnesota has 97. You're telling me that UC Saros in the first round of the playoffs cannot steal you a couple games?
I mean, Vegas are known to be upset by star goaltenders in the past in the postseason.
Exactly.
Oh, and known to choke in the offseason against lesser teams many a time. I
I
can see
also
it
have a
happening.
feeling. Let me double check that. Like, do you know who hasn't been playing recently for Nashville?
Boy, do I. Roman Yossi.
Roman Yossi. But let me read you a
Thank you.
couple other. Ryan Johansson hasn't played.
Isn't he
Philip
out for
For-
the season?
That's a
Anyway,
good
go on,
question.
go on. Yeah.
Philip Forsberg,
Oh god. Oh wow.
Matt Duchene,
Yeah. So they're best players.
and they're still this close.
Man, goalies just you know goalies, man. UC Saros. That's why I have him as the third best in the league at times. On his bad days, he's third best. He's something
All
else, man.
all I'm saying is it would be a story, and I wouldn't necessarily count them out.
Man, I'm really not. I'm just looking at the West. I'm kind of like, I'm thinking to myself, the Oilers again have 200.50 goal guys, right?
Yep.
And I'm still not convinced they could win the conference. Vegas,
You
I
don't
don't
think
have
so?
total comp. No, no, I don't.
I think they can easily get out of their division.
I mean, listen, I'm gonna say this: they're both LA and Edmonton are better than they were last year. I think that's a fact.
100%.
Um, and they're on a crash course to face each other right now. Again, Vegas, Edmonton could be fun. And I was gonna say, like, it'd be nice if LA and Vegas could play each other, but I'm like, wait a minute, no, because Jonathan
Jonathan
Quick,
Quick, yeah.
that'd be so funny. But like that series could be tough, and I don't want to count out the Kings, and I don't want to count out Phil Deneau, even though that last series last year was because McDavid's not real. But like even like Colorado, I'm still not convinced that they can repeat. Minnesota, I had so much faith in last year, and I've completely given up on them. Like I don't care they're leading the division, and even Dallas, I'm kind of like you're a little unproven. You've had a great regular season, but in the playoffs, and I know I was high on them a couple of weeks ago when I said they'd beat Edmonton in the series, but I'm just not. No one in the West to me right now is like, man, you're gonna ruin anyone's world right now.
I don't know. I think it could be Edmonton. Like the okay, here's the thing is I think if you look at the top teams in the East, I think it's going to be a nightmare for Edmonton.
It's
I think
just
you look at Boston, you look at Tampa Bay, you look at Carolina. I don't think in a 7-game series I would personally take those 3 teams. But I think if you look at the teams in the West, specifically for Edmonton, I think they can outscore their problems against all of them.
yep.
Maybe except Colorado. Maybe. because Landeskog's not back yet, right?
But I think he's been skating like him. I think
Okay,
I saw the
so
other day like him and Lehkonen started skating.
all right, so Landeskog will be back by the playoffs. No problem. I think they're the team that I look at and say, I don't necessarily know if they can outscore their problems against Colorado.
Well, I mean, they
Dallas
didn't
is
do it last year.
right. Yeah, but Edmonton's better this year. And I would argue Colorado is not.
Here's the X factor. Because do you remember what we saw in that Avalanche Oilers series last year that we had never seen?
What was
We
that?
saw a defenseman who knew how to defend Connor McDavid with Cale Makar. There's that. I'm sure you remember it. That famous clip where Makar is actually keeping up with McDavid's speed and takes him off a scoring chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing they'll have. Again, it's just, is there enough there when you can slow him and Leon down? But you know what? Here's one thing with Edmonton. Do you know what Leon Draisaitl is right now that he wasn't last playoffs?
Healthy.
He's got two good legs right now. He doesn't have a high ankle sprain. So
right.
Maybe you're right. I'm still wary on them. And they do have Ekholm. Oh, maybe because he's still. Oh, we'll see.
Here's the thing: is if they get stonewalled, which again it could happen, but it could happen. It might not. If it's going to be a low scoring series, I can't give it to the Oilers. Like the goaltending is just not there.
It's not playoff proven. That's the big thing.
It's not playoff proven, but even during this regular season in particular, it's not like I can't. I've watched multiple Edmonton Oiler games where after the first period, there have been 5 goals. Right? Like that. And I love that for my fantasy team, but like,
yeah, great.
I don't know if it comes down to it, how that's going to face off against certain teams in the West. Like I look at Colorado, I said, but just behind them to me would be Dallas. Like Jake Oettinger, my God, talk about goaltender. We've been talking about goaltenders this episode. Yep. Baller, yep. Right? The X factor is like McDavid and Draisaitl, man. Like that top 6 on the Oilers is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
We've teased it a few times, fantasy. So right now is the last day of the semifinals. You and I have been facing each other. Before last night, I had 70 points the whole week. You, I think, were around 300 last night. Mm-hmm. You're destroying me. And I would just like to point out the only one of my I had 5 goalies going into this week because I was going to stock up and be careful. I didn't get a goalie start till Wednesday.
God, that's tough.
The Bruins are the only one of my players who showed up. And I would just like to say that I'm happy Nylander decided to score last night after doing nothing for the past 2-3 weeks for me. The team gave up except the Bruins. God bless them. They are a good team. Besides, the rest of you are all scrubs. I don't care that Kucherov's got 105 points. He didn't show up when he needed the most.
McDavid had 52 points for me this week. Evander Kane, 34.5. Zach Hyman, 35.5.
Well, it looks like Daniel's going to lose to Scott, and looks like him and I are going to go at it for 3rd place. Yeah. Good luck against Scott.
Thanks.
The 2 heavyweights of the league this season. Let's see what happens.
I think the Oilers have like 3 games next week, which tough.
I mean, that's all you need, though. Who are they playing?
I don't know.
Anaheim was last night.
Yeah, Anaheim was last night, yeah.
Well, let's get up the Oilers schedule here. This is somehow relevant to see if they can win the division too, so don't add us.
Yeah, that's true.
They have another game against the Anaheim Ducks this week, Alex. You're fine. They play Tuesday, it's the Kings. Wednesday, it's the Ducks. Saturday, it's the San Jose Sharks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. Yeah, you got a chance. Then again, he also has Erik Karlsson, and you know, he's got a good team. I think he has Draisaitl, wasn't he? Or is that Anton? Anyway,
I don't remember.
I think that's everything. Wait, definitive. Who are your 2 teams in the West? I'll say, Seattle, and I'll say Calgary. Why not?
Wow, you just The
I just don't
anti-Winnipeg.
care. It'd be
Just the
funny if the Jets miss.
anti-Winnipeg. Man, they're a tire fire right now. So I'm gonna go Seattle and Nashville.
Okay.
Man,
I
I
will
wish I
give
was here last episode to rip the Jets, but that's okay.
shout out to them actually responding to bonus, calling them out, and then kicking the crap out of. I forget who it was, but I think they won like 6-0.
Last night?
It wasn't last night, but it was after bonus called them out.
Oh,